If you've been with me on this channel for a while, then you know that I've conducted a series of interviews with sales pros. I've done these long form interviews to give you insights, ideas, and techniques from veteran professionals in the world of sales. Now, this clip is a selected question and answer from one of those past interviews. And it's a point that I want to highlight to help you to gain a new idea or new technique that you can apply to be more successful in sales. If you've watched the whole interview, this will reinforce a key point. If you haven't, then I hope it whets your appetite to go back to the list of videos on my channel and find the full interview and watch it. Enjoy this tip. What is the right mindset for a salesperson?
Again, you're good at asking the tough questions, but I think they're good because there's a lot of people that go into sales begrudgingly. They feel they're forced to. They feel that sales is a horrible profession. And yet, if you look at the world today, it is still one of the best, if not the best paid profession there is. A good salesperson, an ethical salesperson who understands how and what sales is, will generate more income than most professionals today. Doctors, lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. Understand this. For anyone that's listening that has some kind of fear or apprehension around sales, understand that sales is only about helping someone or perhaps a group to see something, whatever that is, from a different perspective, one that they perhaps have never, ever seen or experienced before. That's sales. Sales people need to understand, one, passion sells. Two, if you are in a bad place, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, the person or people that you're communicating with, you're selling to, it's automatic. They see it, they read it, they understand it. If you had a bad night last night, if you had an argument with your husband or wife, that is evident in the conversation and in anything you do when you're face to face with someone. I don't care if it's virtual like this or if it's in person. Okay. So understand, you need to go into something with a mindset that is, how can I serve and support? You need to be in a good place. You need to be happy. One of the things we talk about at length when it comes to mindset is, how do we reprogram this? Because we're hardwired to default to the negative. And I have two young boys, one's 5 and one's 11. And one of the things we do every morning on the way to school is we pre-program what goes on up here, putting ourselves into that mindset. And we talk about affirmations and utilize affirmations, because when we put ourselves into place and we focus on what we want instead of what we don't want, we tend to get it. So I remember giving a presentation at an event for an insurance company many years ago, and there was a young man sitting in the front row, very attentive, pen and paper in hand, taking a lot of notes. And after I finished speaking for about 90 minutes, he was the first person to line up at the stage as I stepped off. And he asked me a question. He says, how can I ensure that I get every deal? I said, well, I don't know if I have an answer for that. But I said this: when you pull up to a sale, most people, they get out of the car and they're like, oh my gosh, I got to go talk to these people. I got to close this, and I don't know what they're going to say. And they're probably going to have objections. And I said, all I want you to focus on, that you have an agreement in front of you. The signature is why you're there, but it's a formality. The deal is closed. And you're going to assume the deal is closed. And all you're visualizing is that ink on the bottom line as they sign, because they've already told you they're done. It's in. So instead of you creating those roadblocks, instead of you creating that negative attitude towards what the outcome might be, why don't you focus on what the outcome that you want? And all your focus is that this is a formality, and all you see them is that signature, that ink on the bottom line. He went on for the next 3 years to be the #1 rep in North America, because his sole focus, and he was a young guy, he was 21 years old, just, wet behind the ears, as we say. But every single time he sat down with a prospect, it wasn't about the sale. Yes, there was a process he followed, and the questions and the conversation followed a certain direction. But the focus was that signature was a formality, and he saw it on the bottom line. And more often than not, his response, and he used to call me and send me, messages, was that people would say, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that you're as confident that I'm going to buy. And at the end of the day, they signed. And I think we get caught up in some of those challenges that are going on here instead of focus on how we can serve and support. And let me be very clear: no matter what it is you sell, no matter what product or service, you are doing that individual, that organization, that team sitting across from you a service by selling to them. And the more you serve, and the more you support and the more you sell, the more impact, positive impact you have, not just on the individuals you're working with and selling to, but also for yourself.